tricks, he was like holding his watch to somebody's, or his hand to somebody's wristwatch, and the time would stop. People would be like, how is he doing this? He had the mind to make a finger ring out of a neodymium magnet that would stop the second hand of a watch. The idea was genius alone. But what really got him famous was what he did to spoons. I do it to forks instead, and I'll show you why in a second. But Uri Geller would melt spoons. He was known as a metal bender. It wasn't until the early 70s when he appeared on Johnny Carson, and he was debunked by Johnny Carson, who was famously an amateur magician. He got help from the famous James Randi, a skeptic from Florida. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. You can take the fork and bend it down manually, and then pop it back up. So that's an illusion. But then I ask people, have you ever seen anybody take a pen or a pencil and they make it look like rubber? They do this thing. This right here is an illusion that makes it look like rubber. And Uri Geller would take a spoon and he would use his finger to aim it. So he would go like this, but he would do this for a minute. So it would have the rubber illusion, right? And once the rubber illusion was established, which you guys can probably see right now, you see how much that goes? Almost like it's going in a circle now until it droops down. Now straightening it out, because you can only straighten these forks out. You could straighten them out, bend them, straighten them out so many times before it breaks. So if I turn to this side here, if I kind of, because straightening it out without it snapping is kind of tricky. So you want to do this just to the top part of the fork right here. And once it's ready, this little part of the fork will do a little twist, just like this, in the neck, right here. And now at this point, he had a spoon, and at this point he would be done. And the reason he would be done, he would rub the top of the spoon and it would fall off. And the way he would do that would be by bending the handle of the spoon back and forth over and over until it was broken like 90% of the way. But instead of doing that, I got a lot of attention from magicians by doing this right here. I would take the fork and start waving it, and then as I slow down, you can actually see, it'll do it one at a time. There's one, and then two, so they're kind of, these two little middle ones are kind of hard to separate from each other. You can get them all perfectly spread out. And that's your fork. Woo!
Thank you.
No problem.
And Mike, you brought that fork from home.
I did.
That's an old family fork.
Yes.
You know, I do a lot of clubs and restaurants